Haji. I think for inspiration you can look at random shabads. ठीक है? But a hukamnama jehda hai, historically it's always been in the presence of Guru Granth Sahib. Now, hukam means command, है ना? And first there used to be, actually I'll talk about this today, about how the word hukam and whatever, that gives me a topic as well. So prepared, so get a topic. I think that you have to have that connection with Guru Granth Sahib. I'm a bit old-fashioned that way, but I would say if you are in a dire strait, like if you have no other, if you have like your phone or whatever, then look at Harmandir Sahib Hukamnama if you can't find anything else. So that's what I usually do. If I'm somewhere where I can't have access, really every Sikh should go and take a Hukamnama from Guru Granth Sahib Ji every day. Before you eat, the Akal Takht Sahib Maryada says, before you eat, you should go and see Guru Granth Sahib and take a Hukamnama, if you can. If you can't, then listen to the Hukamnama. That's what the Maryada says. So, you know, I would say it's best to take Hukamnama and Guru Sahib Sejuri. If you can't, then listen to the Darbar Sahib Hukamnama. If you just want random inspiration, then, you know, random quotes from Guru Granth Sahib Ji, random shabads are always good. But in those random quotes, sometimes you have Bhai Gurdas Diyan Waran, you have all other kind of stuff which may come up as well, which isn't necessarily from Guru Granth Sahib. So, there's something special about Guru Granth Sahib Ji. You know the Akhar of Guru Granth Sahib, the Akhar are black, but the pages, which we don't use that word, we use the word angs. But I use pages just for those, some of you who may not, although most of you here are practicing Gursikhs, the ang is white. Why? It's showing us that if you delve into these black Akhar, if you put them into your mind, you will reach that stage where there is only light. You will reach that stage where everything else melts away. Dive into the Akhar of Guru Granth Sahib, and that vast whiteness behind them is showing you that there is a vast power inside Guru Granth Sahib. Anything else? Hanji Singh Sahib, then we'll come over there. Hanji.
So
I reserve the right to refuse to answer your questions. Dr. Sahib is a bit different to me, he answers everything. I answer what I feel like. Hanji.
So in my Gurdwara there are some aunties who come on Sunday and do lots of seva. And sometimes I have interaction with them and I ask about their kids, and they have young kids like 17 plus. But when I ask them why they don't come to the Gurdwara, because aunties are doing lots of seva,
but the kids are coming.
But kids are not doing, so I ask them why they're not coming. So they give this regular answer, oh देखो कितने time में 2 डिग्रियां कर रहा है, फिर job भी लिखी हुई है, फिर राती लेट भी सोंदा है, कितने आएगा? And in my Gurdwara, Diwan is only happen once in a week, just on Sunday. And so this is their excuse. And sometimes I ask many uncles who wants us to do workshops related to the professional, giving professional help to kids or young teens. But when I also told them like I also want to do a Sikhi workshop for them as well, so they kind of say, yeah, that is true, we'll do that. But when I ask them like, do your kids do Japji Sahib at least? So it's like, oh, we are into Sikhi, we love Sikhi, and then yeah, we want, but we are not Sikhi, but we are close to the Guru, and so they get on the topic that way. So I want to know how to motivate them and ask them to join, bring kids to the Gurdwara.
Okay, what was your question? How to attract youth to the Gurdwara? Sort of these people who are out. Look,
importance of bringing kids as well.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਐਸਾ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵ ਪਾਓ. ਭਾਈ ਗੁਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ was walking through Agra ਸੁਣਿਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ? They were walking through, it's near Delhi. You know where the Taj Mahal is? That's where it is. Guru Sahib Ji, the Sikh, Bhai Gurdas, he was walking along. And he was walking along in Agra. They said, they stopped Bhai Sahib. They go, Bhai Sahib, tusi katha karonge? Bhai Sahib Ji laughed. Bhai Sahib Ji said, je mere ithe turan de naal tuade te koi fark nahi paya, meri katha de naal kuch nahi pena. Gurmukh di jehdi chaal a, Gurmukh da jehda challan a, if you show that in your life, it will be a greater example than trying to persuade someone. The way you speak, the way you serve them, the way you're there, hopefully that will have a greater impact than words. Sometimes if you try and coax someone too much, then they don't take it. Sometimes if you just live the life, that has a greater impact. So keep living your Sikhi. Do as much as you can. Yeah, try and, wherever there is, a youth who want to listen, bring them together. If one comes, then start with just one. You don't have to have a crowd to speak to. Ek Sikh, doye Saad Sang, Panji Parmeshwar. 2 Sikhs can be Saad Sangat. If they get together and talk about the Guru. So even one person can be that change. Anyone else? Anji Bhai Sahib.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the Maryada on the Farla? How do Muslims attain it, and what is the requirement that they have?
Okay, although most of you probably won't attain a Farla within your life, the idea was this, very simple, in Nahang Singh's. Do you understand what Farla is?
Yeah.
Okay, panga pੈ ਗਿਆ. ਉਹ ਫਰਲੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੀ ਫੋਟੋ ਕੱਢ ਪਿਕਚਰਾਂ ਚੋਂ. If you go to pictures, then there's a go to start. ਇਹਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਦਿਖਦਾ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ. Can we turn off these lights as well? Come on. Go to pictures. Pictures. Up here. Pictures. No, ਇੱਥੇ. Right. Then go down. Well, go to this one. Right. Put up this picture here. Can you see it? Can you turn up? Where are all these lights coming? Get a better picture up. You can't really see much of this. There's better pictures.
Why can't we see a picture?
Go down.
He did, bro.
Hey, Baba, right, so that piece of cloth there is called farla. Now, the question has come, that's why I'm going to answer it. Usually I don't answer things on particular jathebandis because we are a bunt. But within this bunt, I want to stress something to you. We want unity, not uniformity. If there is someone who reads more Bani than you, God bless them. If there's someone who's struggling yet reads less Bani than you, inspire them. Don't condemn people just because they have a little bit of different thinking than you. What we want, you know who wanted uniformity? Hitler. He wanted everyone to have blue eyes and he wanted everyone to have blonde hair. Guru Sahib Ji didn't want uniformity. Guru Sahib Ji said, I give you these Panch Kakar. That is your uniform. Apart from that, whether you want to wear a 3-foot kirpan or whatever you want to wear, that's down to you. You follow that. But don't condemn each other. You know what Sikhis become? Come on. Where were we meant to go? You know, where were we meant to go? That's where we were meant to go to. Nijkar. Sachkhand de isi vasiyan. We are citizens of Sachkhand. That is where we're meant to go to. These shotiyan gallan is what is going to kill us. But getting back to this, farla is this piece of kapda. Now it's not attached, it comes from the inside, it's tied into the case. One time there was a Singh of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj Sache Padshah, and he used to carry the nishan. And when he went into the battlefield, they say that the nishan fell out of his hands. And then Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj said, I will make such a nishan. You understand nishan sahib? The nishan sahib fell out of his hands. He said, I will make such a nishan, even if a Singh's head is cut off, that nishan won't fall down. So the farla is like a nishan sahib. It gets the same treatment. Tika? And farle wala Singh won't carry anything upon his head. He won't put anything on top of the nishan. And plus, he'll always stay in Bana. He won't go outside of Bana. And only select people are given a farla, someone who does something outstanding in the dal. And usually it's for 12 years service. Or an outstanding seva. So it's given by the dals, the Nahang Jathebandi even today, carries on from Guru Sahib's time. So, okay, that's that question answered, I think. Anything else? more general.
I have two questions. One is about how, what would you recommend for like the history novels, like you have to throw novels, reading books, like what books?
Okay, reading list. I think a few people have asked. Put up your hands if you wanted a reading list. If you do generally want a reading list. Okay. Basharmo, सारे दे हाथ खड़े होने चाहिए. That was just me testing your sharm boundaries. Obviously, ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸ਼ਰਮ boundary ਆ. So we can work with that. No, do you know what it is? मैं ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਦੱਸਦਾ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? If you just live your Sikhi upon what you learn in one camp or a video that someone makes, do you know everything in the Char Sahibzade video? Do you think it was all right? Do you know Mata Jito Ji wasn't mentioned when she's the mother of three of the Sahibzade? Do you know that when Guru Gobind Singh Ji gets to Sarsa, there was no mention of Asa Divar da Kirtan? These things, it was a good movie. Don't get me wrong, I pumped it up. People who have WhatsApp, I sent out so many videos to them. List again and again. I put it up on the internet. Yeah, Nafpreet knows. I sent video after video. That video I sent out to so many people. It's unbelievable. I know. And someone actually sent back to me, Vela aa gaya hai, WhatsApp band karna. He goes, because I sent him to him so many times within 1 week. He goes, brava, baskar. Right? But you need to know your history. If you don't know your history, if you don't know Gurbani, I went into a mosque, and when I went into the mosque, I'm doing very, very simple gala. And sometimes, Bhai, sahab, hor bhi ho sakta hai. Yeah, I do Katha of Surya Prakash, Guru Granth Sahib, Dasam Granth, Bhai Gurdas diya Wara, Bhai Nand Lal diya Ghazala. Gyani Gyan Singh Tawari, Guru Khalsa Panth Prakash, Ratan Singh Pangu, Guru Bilas Paat Shemi. Don't think, I'm trying to keep that at your level. Theek hai? Aapa dome level kar sakte hain. But there's a reason why I'm keeping it like this, to keep you on the same page. Now some of you are like, oh, pata nahi ki hai baki de jinna da naam liya, right? I want you to read your history. If you don't take this one thing I say seriously now, just seriously for a minute. History, it means his story. These are our stories. You know, back in the days, I'll tell you, you want to hear something about one great Kirtani of the Pant. I'm not going to say his name, but he's someone who I respect. He says, Sukha, every evening, my grandfather used to sit me down and read Janam Sakhi of Guru Nanak to me. And he goes, Jodon di Janam Sakhi chale gayi, udo di sadi Sikhi jaan lag pai. If you look in your houses, you may even I found, and my house is very unreligious, right? Used to be. No, isn't now, right? But used to be. I found this big, massive copy of the Janam Sakhi. That's what they used to do every evening. They used to sit and read them. These books are going. We've got so much literature, it's unbelievable. And your question is so good. We will need to address this. I'll actually sit down, I'll make a reading list. And if I give you names now, it may not be, you've asked me for a reading list as well, haven't you? Okay, so, and whoever, I think a few other parents, I know the Sinhalese are switched on, they want, the gods, they're switched on, they want reading lists. And you should too as well. If you haven't read by Veer Singh, what are you doing? Seriously, right? If you, seriously, come on, right? It's translated into English, you have no excuse. Okay, so excellent question. Do you have another one?
Yeah, I do. It's about...
So remind us about that. We will get a reading list. I'll actually get it, and if we might even get it printed and given to you. If not, I will get it put up onto the screen at some point. But Hadi? Yeah, we'll email it out to you, plus I'll get it for tomorrow's lecture. I will prepare a reading list on spirituality, Gurbani Vichar, and Sikh Ityas. Theek hai?
Yes.
Theek hai? That pretty much covers everything, right? And it will have both Punjabi and English. Do you want me to do that? It will take me an hour or two to get it together. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, carry on. What's your second question?
What is your personal opinion on Kapoor is wearing stars instead of keeping her mall like the
The Maryada actually says that a Singhani can wear a dastar or not. It's up to her. So I would say it's up to a Singhani. It's up to her. It's her prerogative. But the idea of keeping your head covered is the main thing. Now, why do you keep your head covered? Haji? Yeah, protect your gaze, but you could probably wear a top hat and that would protect your gaze. Any Haji?
So the energy didn't escape from your Dasam Dwar.
I don't think that. I think that there's people say that, but I don't think it's like I understand where that comes from, but I don't think many of us are on that level. So maybe for the people who it is, it might work, but I'm just generally speaking, I don't think I'm on that level, that I have energy going. Most of my energy comes out of my head, so it goes around, you know? But I would say, shall I tell you why? Tell you why. India de vich meri gal suno dhyan de naal, so we'll have to tell people why you cover your heads at 6. What was that? Huh? Siro nanga pata kaun hunda si?
Gore.
Huh? Punjab de vich, India de vich. Jehdi gal suno. ਜਿਹਦਾ ਹਸਬੰਡ ਮਰ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਿਰੋਂ ਨੰਗਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਮਾਈ ਹਸਬੰਡ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਮਾਈ ਖਸਮ ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਆਲਵੇਜ਼ ਅਲਾਈਵ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਸਿਰੋਂ ਨੰਗਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਧੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਸਿਰੋਂ ਨੰਗੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਪੁੱਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਸਿਰੋਂ ਨੰਗਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ do you understand it's a deep meaning why we cover our heads at all times ਸਿਰ ਉੱਪਰ ਠਾਠਾ ਗੁਰਸੂਰਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਤਾਕੇ ਕਾਰਜ ਪੂਰਾ मैं Gormil Uch Damalada. Now I've met the Guru, I would tie Uch Damala upon my head. I have a head, his hand is always upon my head. I feel when I tie my dastar that I have Guru Sahib standing like this. When I feel the weight of my dastar upon my head, I feel Guru Sahib's hand. And it relates to that idea. Guru da Sikh kade bhi sirੋਂ ਨੰਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ. Do you understand? That's why it's not just to cover your head inside the Gurdwara. Mera khasam ta mere naal hai wherever I go. Is there any place without him? No. Hanji. Did someone else have a question before we go that way? We are going to get onto a lecture soon. We do only have 50 minutes left, so we are going to keep this brief. So, Hanji.
Is there any historical accuracy to the idea that Guru Sahib gave Sikhs the dastar because at Gobind Singh Ji's time, only the royalty were allowed to wear dastar? So, for example, Aurangzeb and other rulers, and normal Aam Janta was not allowed. So, Guru Sahib elevated Sikhs to give them the dastar. Is that accurate?
Definitely that was one of the reasons. One reason ਰਾਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਰਾਗਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਗ ਗਾਏ ਰਾਗਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਗ ਗਾਏ you know when ਤੇ ਗਰਦਾਨੀ ਦਾਨੀ ਤੁਮ ਦਾ ਤਦਰ ਦਾਨੀ ਦਾਨੀ ਤੁਮ ਦਾਨੀ ਤਲਲ ਤੁਮ ਤਿਰਣਾ ਦਾਨੀ ਦਾ that's a rag within a rag ਸਰਬਲੋ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਤਦਰ ਦਾਨੀ ਦਾਨੀ ਤੁਮ ਦਾਨੀ ਤਲਲ ਤੁਮ ਤਿਰਣਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਰਾਗ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਸ਼ੁੱਧ ਗਾਉਣਗੇ ਸਿੱਖ not just ਸ਼ਬਦ but ਰਾਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਗ ਗਾਉਣਗੇ and even rag within rag Guru Sahib ji saying tadar dani tum dani you are the giver to all so that was one of the things it was a challenge at that time and even now it's a challenge even today our royalty is at stake theek hai hanji anyone else hanji 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 ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਵਰ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਸਿਰ ਢੱਕ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਹੈ ਬਾਕੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਆ ਜੀ ਕੇਸ ਕੀ ਸਜਾਉਣੀ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਜਾਉਣੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਉਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਣਾ ਉਹ ਬਸ ਜੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਿਲ ਵਰਤ ਕੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਆ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਚੁੰਨੀ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਭੈਣ ਆ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਕੇਸ ਕੀ ਸਜਾਉਂਦੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਭੈਣ ਆ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕ ਸਕਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਓਕੇ ਐਨੀਥਿੰਗ ਐਲਸ ਬਾਬਾ ਜਰਨੈਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਸਿੰਘਣੀ ਵੀ ਚੁੰਨੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਬੀਬੀ ਪ੍ਰੀਤਮ ਕੌਰ I don't think anyone's more siana than him. Hanji. Can I? Hanji. I'm not saying that you shouldn't or you should, but I'm saying that on one side, you know, you've got Bhai Ranveer Singh ji, a great Gursikh who's singing, he obviously wears a dastar. On the other side, you've got Sant Janel Singh who's singing, he wears a chunni. But it's all about love. Hanji. Be quiet, please.
How tall the Singhs were, or like anything about that?
Yeah, there are. If you read through the history, like if you read Paitaru Singh's Itihas in Pant Prakash, it gives you an exact figure of what Bhai Sahib looked like. But you'd have to look because it's with that exact. Like Baba Gursikh Singh, it says that he used to get up at 1 o'clock, then he ties the malla, then he reads the Kalus. That he actually has these little things written down. Hanji, anything else? Can we finish the question soon? Hanji, go on.
Okay, so I heard from a different, it's a bit Sikhi. I watched the video and he said
why does like the doctor get all these free will and like really good questions, and mine are the stars are what event kara ki ya mainu samjh nahi aaundi ke you know, ask him this stuff. I'm going to actually bring him from the room and I'm going to say, you answer this. Like, it's very simple. We answered it in the Nari to Nyari seminar that we had. It's very simple. It's not a bad question. I understand where it's coming from. Sant Harnam Singh Rampur Khede Wale and Sikh has said that you can't read it at night. But many other Mahapurukhs do read it at night. So it's up to you. Okay? I respect Sant Harnam Singh Ji from the bottom of my heart, but if you want to read it, that's totally up to you. I respect other Mahapurukhs who read it at night as well. Again, it's one of those things. There's no great, Hanji, there's no great divide. Hanji. It depends where your Sharda is, basically. Hanji. Yeah, go on.
But if you could shed some light on
Kya baat. All I can say about Allah Yar Khan is kya baat. Kya baat. You know when I read Allah Yar Khan, you sometimes even before I went to see the movie, I sat down and pulled out Allah Yar Khan and I started reading him, and when he brings the scene of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj in front of your eyes, it's just unbelievable. He lived only within the last 100 or so years. But you know that what I said last night is probably the greatest moment when he says, when they say to him, "You have no place in our heaven." He goes, "Mainu Guru Gobind Singh diyan bahaं udik diyan." That encapsulates him. And I will give you specifically reading about him, because I don't want to go too much into his life, who he was, but I'll give you reading about him. When he makes that scene, "Jab ded kari raat guzri, zikre khuda mein, khayme se nikal aaye hazur hawa mein, kadmon se tehlte the magar dil tha dua mein, bole ay khudawand khush hu teri raza mein." And he looks at his sahibzade, he says, "The char, ab do hi ho, hum shukr karenge, seher ye bhi na honge." Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj says, "The char, ab do hi honge, hum shukr karenge, seher ye bhi na honge." There are 4 of you, now there's only 2. मैं फिर भी रब दा शुक्र करूंगा when I see your dead bodies in the battlefield. मैं कह नहीं सकता. Please, hello, इधर देखो. Please, right? Sikhi is feeling. Sikhi is experience. Sikhi is not learning and reading like a parrot. Sikhi is actually feeling inside. If you want to do something, start walking on that path of feeling, seriously. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj says, if your eyes have never shed a tear, then what type of a Sikh are you? People cry. When, my grandmother died and I cried, I was by her bed. The first person I actually saw dying in front of my eyes. Like, she actually died. We saw her breathing and that was it. And all of a sudden she wasn't there. And at moments like that, it made me grab hold of Gurbani. Like, I'm telling you from my own experience. I'm not giving you, they're giving me a hint. Yeah? They're, all right, okay.
Don't worry.
Right? Don't worry. But I'm losing my thread now. What I'm trying to say is this. Sikhi is about feeling. That is what we need to begin. You can have a direct conversation with Guru Granth Sahib. You don't need a middleman. You don't need me. You don't need Dr. Harbhajan Singh. You don't need any of the Pajis and Benjis here. You go and experience your Guru. Dive into Guru Granth Sahib. Raat de diwan de vich there's going to be. I want you to. I don't want you to actually dive in. I want you. I'll give you one Shabad, an example. We'll do a Shabad example. I'll go through Guru Ram Das Ji Shabad. Okay, we'll do that today. We'll do the diving. I've got to do the book list. Benji, you are very organised. You remind me that I've got to do a book list. Okay, anything else? There was another question somewhere, and then we're going to begin. Or forever hold your peace. Right, go on. Hanji, oh sorry, it was you. Hanji, go on. That is an excellent question. Did everyone hear that?
No.
Okay, right. She said, how do you balance your spiritual life and your normal life? Bhai Singh used to say, okay, Gursikh, is a gristi during the day and a sannyasi during the night. Use the hours that God gives you. If God has given you half an hour in a car, start reading Gurbani in that half an hour. Don't waste your time. You have to manage your time. Ihan khat chalo Allah aud kata. You know, Guru Arjan Dev Ji says every night. Hello, God suno. At night, Guru, that's what they actually say. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Sache Padshah says, Sikha, tu mera hukum nahi manaya. I gave you a hukum to oni manaya. You haven't listened to my commands throughout the day. Now you're about to go to sleep. And even when we're dying, this is the last thing which is read Soila. Now that you're about to go to sleep at night, Guru Arjan Dev Ji every day by our bedside puts his hands together. Seriously feel it. It's not just words. Get that bamari out of your head. Guru Arjan Dev Ji stands there, hands together. He said, Sikha, meri sare din tu gal nahi manni. Hun main tenu kehta hai, karo benanti, suno mere. Benanti means ardas. The Guru is standing in front of you like this. Look up. Seriously think about this. Karo benanti. Have you thought about that? Guru Arjan Dev Ji haath jod ke khade hai. Have you ever looked at Gurbani that way? Karo benanti. Karo benanti. Main benti karda. Hands bowed. Suno mere meeta. Sant tehl ki bena. Now is the time. Now is the time. Tika? And I understand spiritual life, you know, school life. I'm, you know, studying. I have essays. I have title. You know, so much now. Even now, I have to go back. I've got a few, like 10,000 words I've got to write when I get back. But if you lose, you need Nithanim to keep you sane. My Nithanim keeps me so sane. When I'm about to hit my deadline, if I miss my, you know, my Nithanim, I'm not going to say what it is, but if I miss my Nithanim, it hurts. You know? So I know that it keeps me sane. Now, what I want you to, Gurmat is said, hello, mudde uth ke baitho. Eh, bhave thode hun nahi kam auni ja thanu changa nahi lagda, par ek din kam auga. Uth ke baitho bandiyan wang. Hanji, pasuan wang pher kade pੈ jaओ. Right? Te there's main thanu ek gal dasni hai. Gurmat is sahaj marg. Hello, Gurmat is sahaj marg. Sometimes what we do is we do 5 hours of Simran one day and we do 3 minutes the next. What you should do is do 10 minutes, but do it every day. ठीक है? Hello. Tera question answer kar 10 minutes, but do it every day. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you want to increase your Nithanim, increase it baby steps. थोड़ा जा और बढ़ा लिया, थोड़ा जा और बढ़ा लिया, थोड़ा जा और बढ़ा लिया, ठीक है? कटे ना, थोड़ा जा और बढ़ा लिया. Bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. Don't swamp yourself, ठीक है? Because then when it goes, you feel the withdrawal even more. ठीक है? It's a drug. हर बिन रह ना सको एक राती, जो बिन अमले मर जाई है, त्यो हर बिन हम मर जाती. Guru Sahib Ji's hukamnama today, Guru Sahib Ji says, हर बिन रह ना सको एक राती. That type of feeling. Maharaj Ji says, just like someone who's addicted to a drug goes, and you know what he does? Someone who's addicted to a drug goes up to every single person saying, have you got money? I need my drug. Have you got something to make my fix? Guru Sahib Ji says, when a certain avastha comes inside you, a certain way of living, you say, I can't live without God even for a moment. Jo bin amali mar jayi hai. Just like a drug addict dies without a drug. Teo har bin hum mar jati. The same way I die. ठीक है? So, any more questions? Alright, band kar do. Any more questions? Oh, you're trying to make an atmosphere? Are you trying to get me to stop doing my question answer? Any more questions?
You can do the Q&A later.
Hanji?
You can do the Q&A later.
Okay. You say so.
कोई गाली मेरे नाराज ना हो.
गाल बेटी यार मैं मुड़ के नहीं आऊँगा फर्स्ट कोर्स से.
Winter course.
Look, I try and joke with you in these times or whatever to try and get the message across to you. That's what I'm trying to do. So try and cooperate with me. I'm not putting very complicated things in front of you for a reason. I want you to try and just get the basic feelings. Tika? I'm leaving the complicated things to the doctor at the moment. If you want me to talk about complicated things, we could do. I know. I'll try and keep it simple. So let's begin like we always begin. Tika? You guys see? Sure. Okay. we ready to begin? Okay. Hey Dangaro, I'll give you a minute. Because I don't want you to interrupt my lecture. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it quickly. Go on. Board it up. Starting now. Don't go anywhere. Don't leave the hall. Don't move from your seat. You can stand up, but don't leave your seats. Oh, we're ready? Okay. Very good.
Hey. I had to want my drink.
Okay. Satnam Sri Vaheguru Ji Ujjwal Veer Brahm Sukha Sagar Garit Parat Gahale Ho Anguriya Garit Parat Gahale Ho Anguriya Shravan na surat Nain sundar nahi Shravan na surat Nain sundar nahi Aarat dar ratat pinguriya Aarat dar ratat pinguriya Dinanath Anath karna main Dinanath Anath karna main Sajan meet pita mehtariya Sajan meet pita mehtariya Charan kal hirday geh nanak Charan kal hirday geh nanak Paisagar sant pare utariya Na ho jati sati nahi padhiya Murkh mugdha janm paya Pranvat nanak tinki sarna Jin tu nahi visarya Jin tu nahi visarya संग जी हाथ जोड़ो फतेह बुलाइए वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह गुरबाणी दी तसीर ऐसी है गुरबाणी has such a feeling that it can change your mind in an instant. I want to go through Gurbani today. We've talked about basics. We're going to carry on with the Amrit lecture tomorrow. Yesterday we talked about qualities of Gursikhi. I just want to bring up the qualities of Gursikhi just very quickly. Gonna stay within my time. Famous last words. I'll try and stay within my time. We went through, I know. So before I begin, name me the first quality of Sikhi. Someone put up your hand. The first quality of Gursikhi. From yesterday's lecture, what is the first quality of a Sikh? No. Someone put up their hand. Hanji both, huh? Nimarta. Excellent. First quality. Okay, tell me a second quality. Daya was not one of them. Hanji. It's not there. Something else. Hanji. Rahat, but we didn't talk about that yesterday. But it's obviously Daya and Rahat are qualities, but something else we talked about.
Naam japna.
Huh?
Naam japna.
We didn't talk about that yesterday. Naam japna begins when you go from Sikh to Gursikh, but we were talking about something more. Huh?
Amrit Vela.
No. Not saying you shouldn't do Amrit Vela again. Just a disclaimer there. Dharti pairan het hai, pairan het vasanda pani. What did Baba Khuda Singh do?
Bow down.
The idea of picking someone up. The defense of the defenseless. That girl crying out, nobody was going to put out her pain. It took a Gursikh, someone who was living Sikhi. These are our ideals. Apne aap nu gwana penda. You have to lose yourself if you want to go in that flow of Gurbani. You really do. Okay, so we'll just run through this. Hanji, carry on. Hanji. Next. Are you guys awake? Okay, next. Inna nu kyun biठा दिता? कोई चज दा बंदा बैठे?
मैं जाऊँ.
हरप्रीत सिंह कोई बंदा है यार, कोई बंदा बिठाओ. और उतरो तो ही, उतरो परे हो. उतरो इधरों, उतरो. 3 जने बैठे हैं, काम नहीं करते. उतरो परे हो. चज दा बंदा बिठाओ. उतरो. चलो डॉक्टर दी कोल चलो. शाबाश.
सेवादार 2020.
चज दा बंदा एक बैठे. Right. So, चलो डॉक्टर दी कोल. चलो. Right. Go back. हाँ जी. Go back. हरप्रीत सिंह तुम ही जाग पाओ जे तेन बिठा दिता मान देता. Go to the beginning. Go back to the beginning. हाँ जी. हाँ. Next one. Name, shout names. Who's in this picture? Okay, excellent. Next. Baba Harnam Singh, Rampur Khede, we were talking about before. Next. Baba Sham Singh, excellent. Next. Sant Gurbhajan Singh. Now go back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning. Buzzword here, this one. What are we talking about in this one? Can you say all together what we're talking about? Come on, what were we talking about? All together, what are we talking about? Okay, no, Bhagats in general. Okay, next one. Sant, sorry, I got it wrong. Sant. Okay, next one. Next one. Next one. Gursikh. Bhagat, Sant, Saad, Gurmukh, Gursikh. And Baba Handal bowing down with the atta covered hands. Vaheguru. Okay, carry on. We talked about this as well. You begin as a Sikh. Okay? When the Guru comes and starts living inside you, you become a Gursikh. Gurbani says Gursikha andar Satguru varta hai. The Guru works through his Sikhs. You start as a Sikh. Meditation, all these things. There is so much love in Sikhi. You know, like, ek wari na Reman aisi hasyon preet kar jaisi jal dudh hoye. Avatan ape khave dudh ko khapar na de. If we, I'm not sure if it's in this presentation. It's not actually. Reman aisi hasyon preet kar. In Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, it says, love God in such a way, jaisi jal dudh hoye. Like water loves milk. That's how you must love the Guru. And you think, ek hi gallan ya pani de dudh diyan gallan karde Maharaj. Guru Nanak Sahib. Reman aisi hasyon preet kar, jaisi jal dudh hoye. When you mix water and milk and you start boiling the water and milk, pehli gal, when you add milk to water, what does the milk do? The milk gives the water its color. The water is worth nothing. But if milk is added to it, even that water is sold. If you go to Punjab, most of that milk is watery nowadays that's being sold. The milk, the water has no color. It has no roop. It has no form of its own. It has no value of its own. You understand? It has no roop, it has no rang, it has nothing. It has no taste of its own. When the milk is added, it gets a taste. When the milk is added, it gets a color. When the milk is added, it gets worth. Sikha, the day Guru Nanak comes inside you is the day his form works inside you. The day Guru Nanak comes inside you is the day that you get the form of Guru Nanak. It's the day that you get the taste of Guru Nanak. And it's the day you get the value of Guru Nanak. When you realize how much one breath is, when you realize the price of one breath, then you never want to waste it again. Ek sadhu hunda si, Sufi. He used to get up in the morning. When he used to get up, Sufi means a type of Muslim. When he got up in the morning, I can't remember his name now, but I've got it written down. He got up, Bishtami, Sayyid Bishtami. When he got up in the morning, they were sitting around him, his servants. And what happened was, he was doing Simran and he opened his eyes. He was meditating upon God. Sufis call it dhikr or zikr. Zikr is what we say, but it's actually in Arabic it's called dhikr, because the zaza becomes like a D sound. So, he was doing his dhikr, repeating God's name. He opened his eyes. They were standing there, said to Sain, they go, if we wanted one of your breaths which you take at Amrit Billah in God's love, we just want to buy one of them, how much would you sell it for? How much, what value can you put on one breath taken in God's yard at the Amrit Billah? He looked at them and he said, if you collected together everything that God has created, not one universe, all of the universes that God created, every single thing made by God under this sun and any sun throughout all of the world, all of the universes, beyond all of our thoughts, he said even that would not be able to equal one breath which is taken in God's yad Amrit Vela. Can't equal that breath. Har japdeyan khin tilla kijei meri jindadiye mat jape sa ave ke na ave ram. Each one of your breaths is a diamond. Heere jaisa janam hai. Sikha, you're talking about spirituality. When you learn how to look after your breath, that is when you've learned how to look after your life. What is your life? What is it? It's a series of breaths. ਜਦੋਂ breath chalegi, फिर life chalegi, खेड खत्म, नहीं. It ends. If you learn how to look after one breath, each breath, if you start treating it like a diamond. You know, sometimes they live each day like it's your last. Guru Nanak Sahib Ji says, live each breath like it's your last. Do you want to be remembered as the person who, you know, did a gandhi guard to someone when they died? Do you want to be remembered as the person who, you know, had road rage? Or you want to be remembered as the person who, you know, had so much akkad that they couldn't speak to someone? You want to be remembered as that person? Each one of your breaths is like a diamond. Think about it. समझते हो इस गल नूं बच्चों? समझते हो? You know, you're young. ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਸੀ ਮਰਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮਰਨਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਆ. Doesn't matter how old or young you are. ਮਰਨਾ ਮੂਰਤ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਪੁੱਛੀ ਥਿਤ ਨਾ ਵਾਰ. Dad doesn't come say, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਤੂੰ ਹੁਣ 50 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ 20 ਸਾਲ ਹੋਰ ਲਾਉਣੇ ਆ? ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕੀ ਤੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਭਲਾ? ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਓਕੇ ਦੇਖ ਲੈ ਜੇ ਦੇਖਣਾ. It doesn't come and do that. It doesn't do that. You're 1 month old or you're 100 years old, doesn't care. Wake up. Okay? Let's try and do this together. Each breath, Sikh, Gursikh. I was talking about Rehman Aisi Harsampreet Kar. Now this is Gurbani Vichar. This is what I really love. Look at what Guru Nanak is saying. It's beyond what is the Akhar. In the Akhar there is something so deep, something so profound. It's not just water and dod. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying the water takes on the color of the dod. When you become Guru Gobind Singh Ji's son or daughter, Guru Gobind Singh Ji loves you so much, he gives you his own form. He says, I have these Panch Kakar, I give them to you, my outer form. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj gives you his color of God's love. Guru Gobind Singh Ji gives you the taste of his name upon your tongue. If you just become his, if you just let your water mix in with that milk of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, he will give you his own color, he will give you his own form, he will give you his own value, he will give you his own self. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, itthon tak, he says, mo kare main, tan te man te, 6 more gram inside my house, more gram mante, my mind I will dedicate to them. Mante, tanate, my body I dedicate to them. More gram mante, tanate. Sir lao. Guru Gobind Singh says, Khalsa ji, mera sir chahiye. When the Hindu nation came to ask for a head, he sent his father. When we needed a head, he sent his sons. Sir lao, asir lo. Tan hai. Everything that I've made is for them. Sab hi in hi ko, for us. Asi kithe ture firte hain? He wants to give us his own color. He wants to give us his own taste. He wants to give us his own fragrance. He wants to give us his own value. When you go from here to here, here is a Sikh. When the Guru possesses you, when the Guru takes you over, when you dedicate yourself to the Guru, it suddenly becomes a Gursikh. In every speech of the Gursikh, in every word of the Gursikh, in every glance of the Gursikh, in every action of the Gursikh, the Guru is working through him. Bhai Kattu di gal hai na? A Sikh comes, and this isn't my topic today, I always do this. Anyway, this is more interesting. No, that's interesting, so I can't say that, right? Because they're all Sikhi topics. The Bhai Kattu is a Sikh in Kashmir. And a Sikh from Kashmir decides, he says, oh, I want to take honey for the Guru. Bhai Kattu has a deep cough, and he's got jakam, he's got cold. And that Sikh is carrying along this little kujja, and Bhai Kattu says, Bhai, ki hai vich? He goes, share there. Bhai Kattu says, do bunda mainu bhi de de. Give me 2 drops. Because nahi, ye Guru Har Gobind Sahib Maharaj da hai. Kidan jhutta karna tੈਨੂੰ ਦੇਵਾਂ? ਜਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ. ਤੂੰ ਕੌਣ ਹੈ? ਤੇ Guru ਲੈ ਆ. When he gets to the Guru, Guru Sahib, मैं शहद लेके आया. Opens up, सारा शहद खराब. Guru Sahib says, हाँ तू शहद लेके आया सी. He says, महाराज खराब हो गया. महाराज goes, ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਰਸਤੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਮੰਗਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ. When I was asking for it in the way, ਉਦੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ. ਹੁਣ ਕਾਹਨੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈ? He goes, I don't understand. Guru Har Gobind Sahib Maharaj says, Bhai Kattu de vich main bolda si. It was me speaking in Bhai Kattu. It was me inside him. Gursikh andar Satgur varta hai. How much the Guru loves you? He says, I'll take you into my hands. I'll give you my color. I'll give you my form. I'll give you the heads of my family if I need to. That is what it means, Gursikh. Os Gursikh de vich nimrta kyun na hovi? Think about it. There's a Shabad, I can't remember the exact lines. The Tuka, Mohe Duhagan, Anat Vichari, Roop Rang de Aap Shingari. I read that Shabad and I thought, sahi gal. He gave his Roop and he gave his Rang. ਉਹਨੇ ਰੂਪ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਉਹਨੇ ਰੰਗ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ. ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗੀ ਦੁਹਾਗਣ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਲੋਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈ. So much Guru's put into his Bani and Bana. Through the Bana you will get the Guru's Roop. Through the Bani you will get the Guru's Rang. Rang means love. Okay, let's switch on. Those of you who are dozing off again, carry on. Ha 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 ha, Bhai Gurdas, kya baat hai, kya baat hai, kya baat hai. Right, carry on, carry on, carry on, carry on, carry on. Oh, go back, go back. There was a question about Baba Sri Chand yesterday. I would like to answer this. Firstly, when we say Babaji's name, we should always say Baba Sri Chand. Because wherever Guru Sahib Ji walked, we bow down to that space. Jehda Guru da bachcha si, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ. Doesn't matter how he was. So that's just one thing to know, you know. So just whenever we say the names of the Guru's sons, whether it's Baba Prithi Chand, even Baba Ram Rai. Many of you don't know Baba Ram Rai came back to Guru Gobind Singh and asked for forgiveness. You may not have known that, but he did. So for the Guru's sons and for the Guru's children, we always use Satkar. That's just one basic line. I'm going to carry on. एक तो बड़ी सिक्खी की हो सकती है. I can't even. Let's carry on. There's no need to explain it. Carry on. We'll go on to the Gurbani lecture. ठीक है? We'll go on that for the next few minutes, not too long. We'll carry through if there's something need to be. I don't want to finish this one off. Do you want me to? We'll go on to Gurbani because I think that's needed. ठीक है? Yeah. Shall we cover Gurbani a bit? What was the? Okay. Haji, thumbs up. I want to tell you one story. Tatta hove dhub vich, thanda hove virti khani. Pani jehda hai, Gursikh is so much like pani, but even better than pani. Hun tusi pani ubal lo, samjhde ho? You boil water. But if you pour boiling water, wake up those people who are asleep next to you, please. If you pour boiling water upon fire, does it still put out the fire? Huh? Who said no? Obviously, they need to teach chemistry here. Right? Even if boiling water is poured upon fire, it still puts it out. Even if a Sikh is in the battlefield, he doesn't give up his Nimarta inside. Just like Dr. Sai was talking about yesterday. Doesn't fight out of hate. Fights because that's his role. To fight against the team of darkness. That's his role. In Bangladesh, I'm going to tell you this story. In 1970s, there was the war of Bangladesh. Those of you who are a little bit older may have heard about it or whatever. Okay? Bangladesh was made out of Bengal, East and West Pakistan used to be called. I don't know the history of that, but I could talk about it if I wanted to. But one day, a New York Times reporter was writing, and she wrote actually in the New York Times. I think it was a he actually. Chalo, whatever, he or she, the reporter. I've got the report somewhere. He, for argument's sake, let's just use he. Okay, or we could use she. We'll just say it. Right? It. The reporter. The reporter writes that they saw a Muslim lady get out of a car, take flowers, and there was a Sikh soldier standing there, and she put the flowers around his neck. And everyone was like, "Aaki ho raha?" She said, "You're Muslim, he's Sikh." She said, when our own brothers were ripping the clothes off our bodies in order to try and dishonor us, the Sikhs took off their turbans and covered our bodies. She goes, "That's why I'm giving him this flower garland." That is how a Gursikh, tatta huve, even in the battlefield, he sees a sister as a sister, and he sees a mother as a mother. And it works likewise. We're not even in the battlefield, but ab sadi drishti nahi na bandi hai. It's far, yes. But Qurbani, Seva, Simran, Saad Sangat, these things help. Seriously, they do. And if they're not helping, then there's kami somewhere in what you define as Saad Sangat. Sitting together eating popcorns, watching a movie is not Saad Sangat, right? We could play Vahat Lali, Matrix Lali, kuch 5 minute rehearse की थी, उसके बाद 3 घंटे movie देखी. वो साथ संगत नहीं है. The rehearse bit is साथ संगत, yes. The rest ain't. Saad Sangat is when you two Sikhs are sitting and Guru sits in between them. That's what Saad Sangat is. 2 Sikhs are sitting, the Guru vich jaake baith janda. And you don't always have to have Guru Granth Sahib. You could have Shabad or you could have Shabad Vichar. Okay, to those of you who are sleeping, aap band kar do, main recording ho rahi hai, if you don't want to listen. When gahak gun vechiye to gun sahib ho jaye. Okay, so I'm going to spend 5 minutes with you. I'm going to let you out early. I can't deal with it. Gurbani, the words of my perfect master. I'm just going to speak to you very briefly. Hanji, let's carry on. Gurbani is made up of 2 words. ठीक है? One word is Bani. What does Bani mean?
Word of God.
No, put up your hands. Hanji, what does it mean? No. Words. Bani just means words. Any words you speak are Bani. Anything at all. What does the word Guru mean? Hanji, what? That's like an example. What does Guru mean? No, not Ustad. Teacher. So when you go and learn maths from your teacher or from your professor, do you go, Guruji? Oh, you go like that, start matha taking to him in the middle of the lecture theatre. And put like, $5 in front of him, $10. And go, ah. Seriously, what does Guru mean? Andy?
Somebody that can take you out of your darkness
to light. Exactly. That's what Guru means. Good, darkness, Ru, light. Put it together, what does Gurbani mean? The words, let's say it, the words that take you from darkness to light. These words are not just words, this is not just page, this is not just scripture. Gurbani is not scripture. Scripture just means things written down. Gurbani is a conversation. Gurbani is feeling God. Gurbani is the experience of Sikhi. If you want those qualities of Gursikhi inside you, you need to connect to Gurbani. The day you connect to Gurbani is the day you will feel that Sikhi running through you. Your connection with Guru Sahib will be something unique. Then you can go to Guru Sahib and say, Mera dukh sukh tujhi paas. Then you don't have to cry your pain to someone else. You can go there. Ji ki birtha hoye su gur pe ardas kar. You can go to the Guru and beg. These words will take you out of the darkest pits in your life. And I'm telling you seriously, life history from my own life, darkest times have come. They really have. But at those dark times, I've seen Guru Sahib work miracles. How? By just being there. At one point in my life, I had a very dark period in my life. Yeah, this is not too far ago. But I was doing Sahaj Path, and Maharaj said, Maya Jeevat Dukh Nahi. And that broke it. That broke. It broke that anxiety, it broke that depression, it breaks it. Gurbani has this power. You need to open up your heart. Seriously. The day you open up your heart. Did I tell you about Bhai Hira Singh Ragi and Baba Atar Singh? Did I tell you that story? Okay, maybe another day. Carry on. In Gurbani, you have 4 titles for Gurbani. This isn't really too much what I wanted to go into, but you have first title up here. Say after me: Sachi Bani, Khasam Ki Bani, Turki Bani, Amrit Bani, Amrit Bani, Turki Bani, Khasam Ki Bani, Sachi Bani. Okay, define Sachi Bani for me. Someone put up your hand and say it. Go on. Define it. Hanji. True words. True words? 2 plus 2 is 4. That's true words. No? Is it not true words? So what does it mean then? What Gurbani means, what 2 plus 2 is 4. Is that what Gurbani equals to? Sikho jago, jago. Break your conceptions which people have put in your minds. Sachi Bani, what does it mean? The words are true, 2 plus 2 is 4 is true as well. हाँ कौन बोलिया कौन बोलिया कौन बोलिया कौन बोली मंगल कौर आ धन भाग बोल मंगल उच्ची बोल eternal words. Mangal, you are my sister, as you are all, but I have a special connection with Mangal. Anna Mangal, मैं जब मंगल को देख रहा ना मेरा दिल खिड़ जाता है. Even like if I was feeling down there a minute, but now Mangal spoke, I've got a smile on my face. Sachi muchi Mangal ya. Mangal means khushi, happiness. And buttering ho rahi hai. I will get extra langar. Right? Sachi Bani, eternal words. Not just truth. Truth is relative. You have to understand, this is where we get Satnam translation wrong. His name is true. Yeah, the dog's name Rover, that's true. God's name is eternal. It will be with you when you die. It will be with you beyond the grave. It was there before anything was made. It will be there when everything is destroyed. It is eternal. If you connect to eternity, you become eternal. That is what Sachi Bani means. Aad Sach, Jugad Sach, Hai Pi Sach, Nanak Hosi Pi Sach. That is what Sach is. Sach is not the definition in Punjabi. Sat Nam is actually from Sanskrit. Sat, eternal, never ending. Gurbani is never ending. Gurbani is what created the universe. That sound, that energy which created the universe, Akal Purkh's own name is inside Gurbani. That Shakti which is so creative, which can create or which can destroy the whole world, that is Satnam. That is the eternal name. That is what Bani comes from. You understand this concept? It's very deep. दुनिया तो पहला भी बाणी सी. किस रूप दे विच? सरगुण, निर्गुण. A nirgun Paramatma. From the formless came the forms. Apine ab sajyo, apine rityo. No. Dui kudrat sajiye kar asvan rito. He made, out of him comes his name. And his name is Uche Uppar Ucha now. How do you get to him who is higher than everyone? Through his name. Therefore it's even more blessed. You can get to him through the name. You know, Bhai Singh, he says, Lage pyar te pyarada paas vase, kade akhiyan to na hoye ole, kade akhiyan to je hoye ole, surat us di dilo na hoye ole, surat us di dilo je hoye ole, naam jeev to kade na hoye ole, naam jeev to kade je hoye ole. If you fall in love with someone, you want to spend every second with that person. Every second you want to be next to them. Love is not your Hollywood and Bollywood that you translate. You love someone this week, you love Pinky this week, you love Rinky the next week. That is not love. That is bakhand. That is not love. Love is what is there. Even when you burn into pieces, love remains. That is love. Bhai Singh says, Lage pyar. If you fall in love, ta pyarada paas vase. You always want to live with your beloved. You always want to be in his or her presence. Kade akhiyan to na hoye ole. Your only one ardas prayer is this: oh my beloved, never leave my side. Je kar gahe pyarade, tud na shoda mool. Je tu mitra sadra hik bhori, na vishod. We were singing it this morning. Let's feel it though. Hey Guru Gobind Singh. मेरा पास न छड़ हाँ ना छोड़ो कंत पासरा जे पुल्ली जे चुक्की साई. Gurbani is so beyond that even if you do a mistake, Gurbani gives you the ladder back. It says tu papi है ना आजा आजा मैं तेरे शब्द देना है रमैया हाँ बालक तेरा काहे ना खंडस. Gurbani is always keeping the door open. That is this love. Anyway, I'm going on my tangents. I don't want to speak too long. I'll finish within my time. If you love someone, you want to spend every moment with them. And that poem is called Na Hoye Ole. It's in a poem called Leheran Dehar. Leheran, that's with a bindi on top of the kanna, Dehar. And it's Na Hoye Ole. Okay, so I'll get them to email it out to you. I've got it on my laptop. Anyway, if you love someone, you want to spend every second with them. But if you can't spend every second with them, then you always imagine their form in your heart. You're always seeing the photo of that person you love. Surat Osdi Kade na hoye ole. Then Bhai Singh says, Surat Osdi dilon je hoye ole. If you spend so much time away from that person, you start forgetting what they look like. Then you say, Naam jeev to kade na hoye ole. Then you keep remembering their name. And Bhai Singh says, the day you lose that name of that person, the day you lose that connection, Bhai Singh said, I'd rather die. If you turn it on its head, the poem, it shows you the path to God. If you bring God's name upon your tongue, one day that God whose name you're calling out, his form will come in front of your eyes. After his form comes, it's only a small distance, then he will come himself. Fir niyo chadda. Put that poem on its back. Sachi Bani. Qasam ki Bani. Qasam meaning husband. Not the words of Kabir, not the words of Guru Nanak, not the words of Guru Gobind Singh. The words of Akal Purkh. Whose name was Guru Nanak on this world? Whose name is Guru Gobind Singh in this world? When we say 10th Nanak, there was no 10th Nanak. There was only one Nanak. One Sat Guru Nanak, Sache Pasha Nanak, Par Brahm Parmeshwar Guru Nanak. That one Guru Nanak went through 10 bodies. Not the 5th Nanak, you know, like this translation, the 5th Nanak. There's no 5th Nanak. There's one Guru Nanak going through these different bodies. Khair, Turki Bani. Gurbani comes from Tur. Tur means the very heart of God, the deepest place. And the last thing is Amrit Bani. Bani can take you to that place which is beyond death, never dying. Eternal life. Okay, let's carry on. We've got 2 more minutes. We don't have time. Carry on. We don't have time, even though this is really funny, that one. We don't have time for that. Actually, let's go back to that. No, we don't have time. ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬੰਦੇ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਇੱਕ time ਹੁੰਦਾ. Right? It took me a breakdown on stage for you to actually start focusing. I should do this more often. I don't breakdown. I shouldn't do all the funny, jokey, laughy stuff. First day I should come on stage, just crying, start doing like a proper, pick up a chair, hit myself in the head with it or something, India style. That's how I'm crying. The inhale, exhale. मैं इतना शुरू करेगा करा ना. अरदास तो नहीं शुरू करते, अगली बार इतने शुरू करते हैं. फिर काम थोड़ा सूत रहता है मेरे हिसाब ना. Right? Conversation. This is the 4 times. Now this is something worth noting. This is a bit deep. In Gurbani, there are 4 times when Gurbani comes. Okay? I'm not saying these are the only times. I'm not saying that this is like a copyright. Okay? Gurbani is Gurbani because it's beyond our... If you can understand God, oh God, get that way. You can only experience. Huh? If you could measure God, so you wouldn't be able to say, Tumri gatmit tumhi jani. Nanak das da Gurbani. The one who can be measured, he can be ended as well. The one who is beyond measure is beyond end. Ek sant turya janda si. And he was walking along, and then he met this old woman by the beach, and she spoke to him about God, and he spoke to her about God, and they were having this conversation, and then he looked at her and he said, this woman seems like she knows a bit about God. He said, what is the limit of love? She goes, Kamaleha. I don't think she said Kamaleha, but I will put it in. She said, Kamaleha, there is no limit to love. He goes, why? She goes, because there's no limit to the beloved. Je Guru Gobind Singh te limit honda, te ude pyar nu limit honda. If there was a limit on Guru Nanak, then there would be a limit on his love. If there's a limit on Akal Purkh, then there would be a limit on his love. But his love is limitless because he is limitless. Serious. It's not learned then with God. Okay. These 4 times. In Gurbani, when you read Gurbani, there are times when the Guru or Bhagat Sahib is speaking directly. It's a conversation with God. It's as if God is sitting there and the Bhagat is speaking directly, or Guru Sahib is speaking directly. And I gave an example. Tu mero mer Parbat Swami ot gahi main teri. Or you can read Tu Sultan Kaho Miyan Teri Kavan Vadai. Okay? That is the first time. The second time is when a Gursikh has a doubt and the Guru says, Antar kapat chakav hu mere Gursikh ho. Take deception outside of you. The third time is when Guru Nanak is having a dialogue with other faiths. You can see this in Siddh Gosht. You can see this in other Banis as well. And I've given an example here. Kaho Nanak sun pare thare jogi kiva amrit tare. Okay? And this 4th time is when Guru Sahib Ji goes to sinners, inverted commas. One thing that I say, we say Sajjan Thag. We still say it today, we say Kodda Raksh, we say Pumia Chor, whatever, all this type of stuff. Sajjan heard one Shabbat and his life changed. Who's the Thag now? We still say Sajjan Thag to him, don't we? One Shabbat his life changed. Kodda Raksh, one Shabbat his life changed. And we still say Raksh, we still say Chor, we still say Sajjan. Sajjan became a Sant. Sajjan became a true Sajjan. When are you going to change? When are you going to decide that this Shabbat is going to change my life? Okay, I'm going to wrap up, even though I have something. Next slide. I will begin with this slide tomorrow. Okay? So it's my time now, calling time. Sorry I had to give you a bit of a chard, as I would say. But you don't know how lucky you are. Okay? You've got people like the singer and singer who run the camp. I'm not going to do their ustad, whatever. But they've got a lot of love. And they've brought Dr. Saab here, Tika. Not just because, I think he's an awesome guy, because I do. Yeah, but he's got so much knowledge. If you're sitting with him and the younger kids with him today, if I hear any complaint about the younger kids, somebody going to get hurt. And it's going to be those kids. You are going to take laha from Dr. Sahib whether it kills you, right? Because you don't understand. I'm not doing Vidyai, I'm saying seriously, if you have someone here, he spent all his life studying Gurbani, then what more do you want? Tuhadi ta lottery lagi hai. Ask him all the questions. He, even more than me, he loves answering questions. He loves it. So ask him any single question. The weirdest, the most strangest, the most difficult question. वो सारे डॉक्टर साहब ने पढ़े तुसी. ठीक है? So you have this chance. Take laha. I shouldn't have to begin with the violin again. Yeah, I shouldn't have to do that. You should be turned on. You should be switched on. This is your 3 days to connect with Guru. And I want to say to you about the divan. Why is it that when the Qada Prashad comes, all of a sudden there's like Guru Nanak Sahib isn't there anymore? Like we just believe that Guru Granth Sahib was there a minute ago, but all of a sudden Guru Granth Sahib ji chale gaye. Leave the divan, bahar jaake, then start your cup. Okay? Not inside the darbar. Keep that. I'm being very honest, very straight, very simple with you. Anji, who's going to come and announce? Aajo. Come and announce.
I have a question. I'm going to discuss that this year.
Are we doing it now? Are we allowed to? Have we got time? Okay.
Because we were discussing this, you said there's a stage where you have a picture of your beloved.
Yeah.
If you don't have the picture, we have the word. But like, what should we focus on when we polarize? What should we do?
I think that's a question which we will both cover. We'll begin from there with Dr. Sam. I'd like him to give his opinion on it as well. I'd like to actually hear it. So we'll go through that with Dr. Sam. I'll go through that with you. I'm not just doing it to fob you off, but it's a lot.